Hi, my name is Mackenzie, and this is my final video reflection for MGMT 3100. I'll be talking about what impacted me the most in this course, one career goal I'm taking with me, and two strategies I'll use to reach it. So the aspect of this course that has been the most impactful for me is the way that we talked about failure and resiliency, especially reframing failure as a learning opportunity and not as a personal flaw. Before this course, I think I had a pretty fixed mindset to mistakes. If I didn't do well on something, I saw that as proof that I wasn't good enough. I focused a lot on basic failures like getting a lower mark than I wanted or making a mistake at work. And I treated them as if they were like earth-shattering. I guess in therapy, you call that catastrophizing everything. Um, so learning the different types of failure helped me put things into perspective. Most of what I actually deal with are basic or passive failures, like everyday slip-ups, or sometimes I procrastinate and don't meet my own goals. So realizing that these are the safest places to learn made failure feel less scary and more useful. The section on resiliency also changed how I think about my own reactions. I like the definition of resiliency as the strength and speed of our responses to adversity. Instead of assuming resilient people just bounce back naturally, I now see resiliency as a skill that I can practice through things like problem solving, self-care, and asking for support. The Sarah model of feedback, so shock, anger, resistance, and acceptance was a big eye-opener for me. When I get constructive feedback, I can see myself moving through those stages. At first, I'm usually a little bit defensive, and then I usually feel frustrated. Um, so understanding that these reactions are normal makes it easier to move into the last stage, which is acceptance, where I can actually ask, okay, how can I use this to improve? Instead of seeing feedback as a threat, I'm learning to see it as a tool. Finally, tying resiliency and failure to self-compassion and a growth mindset was really impactful. I caught myself noticing how harsh my internal voice is. So now I try to pause and ask, would I talk to a friend this way? And the answer is usually no. So I try to reframe the situation, acknowledging that it was hard, but also focusing on what I can learn and what I could try differently next time. Overall, this unit made me feel less afraid of failing and more curious about what I can learn from it. So one career goal that I have is intentionally building my professional network in the mental health field over the next year. So in practical terms, that means I want to move from just knowing of people in the field to actually having ongoing relationships with them. My goal is that by this time next year, I will have at least three professional contacts, such as mentors, supervisors, or practitioners, who know my interests and goals well enough that I can ask them for advice, feedback, and possibly future references. This goal connects directly to what we learned in Unit 3 about mentorship and networking. The course helped me see the value of both internal and external mentors and how networking isn't just adding people on LinkedIn. It's about building genuine two-way relationships. It also connects back to resiliency, because having a support network makes it easier to cope with failure, rejection, and career transitions. Um, so two strategies I have to achieve this goal. One is use networking, just being purposeful with networking and mentorship skills. So using it in a structured way and not just randomly. Over the next year, I plan to identify a short list of potential mentors or contacts, such as instructors, supervisors from work or volunteering, and professionals I've met through placements or events. Then reach out to at least one person each month for a short conversation, either through LinkedIn, email, or in person, using the etiquette we discussed, which is being clear about why I'm reaching out, respecting their time, and offering a graceful exit if they're too busy. And then turn the best of those one-time conversations into ongoing relationships by following up, sharing updates, thanking them for advice, and asking thoughtful questions about their own career path. So, this strategy is based on what we covered about mentorship and the idea that networking is a two-way street. So, I'll try to show curiosity, listen actively, and think about how I can add value to the relationship, even if it's just sharing resources or offering help where I can. The second strategy is to create and regularly update a written career plan that stays flexible and incorporates resiliency. So I will use one of the career planning templates from the course to map out my short-term and long-term goals in the mental health field, including the skills I need, relevant professional development, and possible grad programs or roles that I might pursue. Set specific check-in points maybe every 3 months to review my plan, track what I've actually done, and adjust based on new opportunities, feedback, and failures. When things don't go as planned, like if I don't hear back from someone I reached out to, or I get rejected from a job or a program, I plan to use the ideas from the resiliency unit, recognizing the type of failure, moving myself through the Sarah curve toward acceptance, and asking what can I learn from this instead of what's wrong with me. That way, my career plan doesn't become rigid or inflexible. It becomes more of a living document that evolves as I do. So, thank you for watching my reflection.